South Korea that sympathizes with
Proxy
North
war.
Korea.
Correct.
And Japan beginning to rearm themselves for the first time since World War II, right? Because they said, okay, you've played nicely for long enough.
Right.
You know, we also screwed some of your shit up, so we're sorry. And then you have this conflict, and China, of course, has a vested interest in backing North Korea in the region. They're kind of creating an alliance right now, which we thought was unlikely with Russia. This could be the stage for World War. Let's go to South Korea. And it is in chaos, and that's because no matter which side, wherever you find yourself, your opponent looks like you. So,
come on.
Some
just Spider-Man
Pete Rose, Mo.
and this actually could have a significant impact here on the United States. Sometimes things happen abroad that don't actually really matter to us. Well, here they actually kind of do. So let's look at Korea first as a country and how it's important on a global scale. It's the world's 12th largest economy. Okay, it's our 6th largest trade partner. Okay, we have about 2 million ethnic Koreans in the United States. Actually, the largest population of Koreans on Earth outside of Korea is Los Angeles.
Most of them were on rooftops.
Yes, exactly, on rooftops.
And we love them for it.
And doing your toenails.
Yes, we have about 30,000 troops stationed in Korea.
Oh, I thought you were going to Calabasas.
I'm trying to think of what else we got. We got, Asia Pacific accounts for 54% of global GDP. So the point is, it's a significant global ally partner. And the fallout from yesterday, if you were following the martial law declaration, it could have some pretty big implications here for the United States of America. So let's actually bring in Lane the Brain to discuss the ins and outs of what is happening in South Korea. I believe, do we have theme music for Lane the Brain?
Do it.
Yes, we do.
Do it. Run it. What are you waiting for? Run it.
Did you pick that, or did he just do this?
I think it's because he looks like Guile.
Oh, he does.
We just picked like the Street Fighter thing.
Well, hold on, we got to get your microphone on. Give us a good, just test it with a good,
Like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom.
Is that industry standard?
It is industry standard. It is industry
So
standard.
by the way, and Lane obviously is he writes a ton of stuff for the show, the research. You actually, this is your wheelhouse. Like you actually have a degree, one that's actually useful that you're putting into good work.
Finally.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. I've been waiting for this moment.
International relations and study, like you work heavily in this in South Korea. You went to school there.
Correct.
And he likes the Korean ladies.
He like a lady.
It's a well-known fact.
Yes, it is.
You were getting blown up yesterday, not only by me. I called him and I was like, I texted him. I was like, dude, call me as soon as you can because what the hell is going on in South Korea? I knew Lane would know.
Yeah.
So this is your
amazing.
moment.
So, well, I guess let me set it up with the clip. So last night, for those, this is what you know, just before midnight, the president there, South Korea, I believe is it Yoon Suk Yeol? Yoon Suk Yeol?
That was spot on.
Is it?
Yeah. That
Good.
10 of 10. That was bad.
For the rest of that was. I'll just do the English way next time. I'll be like Yoon Yeol. He declared a state of martial law, and we didn't really know why yesterday because we were live for the entire country.
I declare martial law to protect the Free Republic of Korea from the threat of North Korean communist forces, to eradicate the despicable pro-North Korean anti-state forces that are plundering the freedom and happiness of our people, and to protect the free constitutional order.
비상계엄을 선포합니다. 저는 이 비상계엄을 통해
Through this martial law, I will rebuild and protect the Free Republic of Korea, which is falling into the abyss of national ruin. To this end, I will definitely eradicate the anti-state forces who are the main culprit of the country's ruination and conduct vicious activities.
반드시 척결하겠습니다.
And immediately after that press conference, he was spotted at this place. So, yeah. Oh well, you know. Josh! Sick day, my foot.
Looks like a great buddy cop.
Like, you're too serious. I just want to have fun. Make right. So everybody was really confused, Lane.
Right.
And I think probably you think it's helpful to go through the timeline.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick timeline, like 3 or 4 events that would kind of just place in people's minds.
Because a lot of people thought this was a communist thing. It wasn't. It really was about the opposition party. And the implications, spoiler for the United States, is this was a bad political move. This is a pretty conservative president. He's going to lose. And the people who will replace him, very, very likely, extremely left. And that's not really good for the United States.
That's very poor for our
Yes, not good for us. So let's go through the timeline at 10:23. This is
local time.
Yeah, local time there. Yoon declared martial law in a televised address. that televised address. Can we bring up that overlay? So he accused the opposition party there of anti-state activities, and apparently this call for martial law was aimed at eradicating what he claimed were pro-North Korean forces. To be clear, there were no protests going on. It wasn't like the Summer of Love here, which is why a lot of people were confused. It seems like he may have just lost the plot.
Yeah, he even came out and said he did it in the middle of the night, so because he didn't want to scare the citizens or make the citizens uneasy.
That's the worst way to do this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Most of my friends woke up to emergency text telling, but it was basically you're still going to school.
Right, yeah.
They have standards there.
You're waking up to an Amber Alert. You've lost all rights. Oh, no.
But still go to class.
Yeah.
Yeah, no snow day.
Yeah, exactly. So then at 12, you had lawmakers arrive at the Assembly main chamber, block the entrance. 12:27, going back to South Korea, what happened? You had armed troops try to enter the Assembly building. And actually, this is a montage of what had taken place. I will say the one thing that stands out to me is that it's very different from our protesters when there are clashes. Like, I've seen more aggressive wrestling in judo practice.
It's like, I don't want any.
Oh my God, it's the insurrection.
They're going to hang Mike Pence.
I know.
Look at this. They're barely even grabbing the sleeves. No. We have no face. Have to be at work in the morning.
Fredo, I'm your brother. Come with me. There's no way out of here today.
I love how literally, like, the one guy, he goes to kind of push him, and he does this.
Yeah, he did the
and
old...
that was such an affront. The other guy steps in like, come on, we all friends here.
It seemed like
wax off.
nobody really wanted to be involved in that. That's the
No.
thing.
It didn't seem like anyone was very passionate.
Insane to me.
Yeah.
So then at 1:04, the Assembly voted to revoke the martial law, right? And 4:26, Yoon announced that he would drop the martial law order.
That was the big thing. So for a little while, like, obviously that vote happened, right?
Yes.
And so it was 190 to 190, or sorry, 190 people out of 190
Correct.
voted for it.
Right.
So
They have a 300
no support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of his supporters just abstained from the vote.
Correct.
Right.
But the 18 that did voted against the martial law.
Right. And so the next question was, okay, does this guy go with that, or does he try to keep martial law in place? That was going to be like, things are coming off the rails.
Right.
If he doesn't just go with it.
Right. And then the U.S. Embassy in Seoul, they responded. They had a statement saying the U.S. believes President Yoon's announcement to end martial law is a crucial step as their senior leaders continue to engage. So basically, they were saying, yeah, you should probably end the martial law. That seems like a good idea. Pretty much no one thought it was a good idea to enact martial law, and there doesn't seem to be the kind of justification that would be required, which, by the way, brings us to this week's South Korean fire drill.
I love dancing pandas.
Yeah, no, but
Every time.
that's the last time we let Lane the Brain write
Yes.
the fire drills anymore.
I just really like that song.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just fun. It's a fun song.
It is catchy.
Yeah.
It is catchy.
I wanted to get fired up for the segment.
There you go.
I think can we do it one more time? I like that song.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. What is it saying? Are we racist and we don't know it?
No.
Is this saying like exterminate the Jews? You know, like I have no idea.
No, you're dancing to party music. Yeah.
That's their version of hip hop.
Gangster rap.
I like it.
It is. Not bad for the
He's singing it. He's rapping about burying his mom in his closet. You have no idea. We really don't know.
I stood in line for the machine for days.
Yes. Sucking on my balls. All right.
Another quarter.
You guys are writing like fucking Simon and Garfunkel.
Have I got my headphones?
Starting to chafe.
We've got to finish this.
Who got the jelly?
What was happening? Like, why?
What happened?
Why? So I know we've got some context and stuff to this, but like, what was going on that made him declare? Like, this is I don't think people understand. Like, this is a massive, like, earth-shattering step to take in South Korea, a very stable place.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I was going to ask.
So,
Gerald. What was going on?
By all accounts, from everybody that I talked to on the ground yesterday, talked to dozens of people, no one had any idea why he would do it, and it really comes down to, it seems to be an impulsive thing to save his floundering political career.
Yeah.
Because no one liked his domestic agenda at all. There's obviously, you have your Russian bots on Twitter that are saying this is a U.S.-backed coup.
Oh, geez.
It's not at all, because it's definitely detrimental to the United States.
Yes.
But the left was really, really pushing him in his country, much like they have kind of tried to do here in Stonewall Trump's agenda. There was 22 of impeachment counts over his term that were levied against either him or his cabinet. And so it was constantly trying to stop him from getting anything done.
So this may have just been the guy kind of, I hate to simplify, but kind of blowing a gasket.
It looks like
unbelievably frustrated.
It does seem like that's the best explanation at this point, is he blew a gasket.
But if you do this and you have no support, not only among the people, but other politicians and even your own party to do it, like you know that you either have to do one of two things. You have to commit and become full dictator, or you just have to get swept out of office.
So there's a chance that it's just his inner circle is not giving him the reality on the ground. And they're making him seem more popular than he is.
Still, but he has to know he has a 25% approval rating.
Like, one would think.
You'd think he'd know that. And you were telling me, this was the first martial law that's been enacted there since 1980.
Correct.
And that time it was Chun Doo-hwan, right, issued that order, which led to the Gwangju massacre. That was pretty historically significant. So I would imagine they were very nervous when they heard martial law. They're like, oh no, last time many people die.
Right, because because you think of Korea now as this, bright lights, K-pop, everyone goes there to travel, and it is a really free and prosperous country now. But for a majority of the republic's history, it was military dictatorship.
Right.
And so when you harken back to the Gwangju massacre in 1980, which the United States did help facilitate, like with logistics, because they didn't want these protests to spread, because the entire goal of the United States and Korea then was don't let communism spread.
Right.
So we did prop up military dictatorships to prevent communism from spreading.
Of course.
For better or worse, I would argue that it ended up okay in the end, but this doesn't reflect well in the national memory of these people at all. So I don't know what his political calculation was.
I would imagine that they would have to be very anti-martial law in general.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like, us with mail-in ballots.
There you go.
A few more dead.
Anti that. So what's going to happen now?
Well, yeah. So you were saying that it's very likely that President Yoon will be impeached.
Yeah, they just filed the main opposition party, and I think 5 other sort of smaller opposition parties filed impeachment articles today, and that will require to be impeached, I believe, a 2/3 vote, so 200 out of 300 members of their parliament.
Yeah.
And
like
that
will got it.
Well, they'll have to peel off 8 from his party, and it seems like his party is. Their official position is they won't support the impeachment, but it's really not hard to move 8 lawmakers.
Well, I have this in front of me when we're doing research, because this is obviously your wheelhouse. Yeah. Did I hear it right that Yoon's entire cabinet offered to resign?
That's correct.
That's a talk about cultural differences. Go back to Watergate, and Gordon Liddy, who did it, stood before the court and was like, yeah, go screw yourselves. We're here to we all have a great shame. We will resign.
Yeah.
We'll go now.
I think they're like, do you think his cabinet was advising him to do this?
The defense minister is the one that everyone is saying pushed him to do it.
Okay, so the rest of the cabinet's like, peace out.
Right.
Well, if it was Japan, they'd all just walked into the suicide forest together.
An honorable death.
Yes. So this, though, obviously, this means there is very likely to be a change. So let's say he's impeached. Let's say he resigns. He steps down. Who is likely to replace him? That's where we have the impact
Kamala
with the United
Harris.
States, especially when you talk about China, right? When we talk about Taiwan. I mean, all of these things, it really could be a powder keg.
Yeah, this is where we get into a big problem, because if you looked at the articles of impeachment that the opposition filed, they called Yoon Suk Yeol, they singled out his foreign policy, saying that he was too anti-Russia, China, North Korea, and too pro-Japan, United States. So right there, that's a big problem for us.
Yeah.
And the opposition leader that is due to take over, who has his own slew of problems, his name's Lee Jae-myung, and he is not exactly an awesome dude as far as America is concerned, because he's really supportive of the one China policy. He's met with Chinese lawmakers that have criticized South Korea's relationship with the United States. He was indicted for sending money to North Korea, I think $8 million. And he at one time referred to the United States as an occupying force. So remember, we have 30,000 troops stationed in Korea right now.
Well, not only that, but I'm trying to remember what the change was as far as the recent agreement. I'm sure Mission Control can send it to you, allowing Japan to start rearming themselves, right? So if this is someone who is radically anti-Japan, you could be looking at a conflict there. And we think of them as tiny people, tiny countries, but you give them some serious weaponry, you throw North Korea into the mix, and China's obviously going to back them. That could be.
This is.
No. China would back North Korea. I'm saying, so if you have South Korea, right, South Korea that sympathizes with North Korea,
correct,
and Japan beginning to rearm themselves for the first time since World War II, right? Because they said, okay, you've played nicely for long enough.
Right.
We also screwed some of your shit up, so we're sorry. And then you have this conflict, and China, of course, has a vested interest in backing North Korea in the region. They're kind of creating an alliance right now, which we thought was unlikely with Russia. This could be the stage for World War III.
It's extremely concerning because as bad as Yoon Suk Yeol was on his domestic policy, his foreign policy was actually pretty good as far as the United States' interests are concerned. You remember he met at Camp David with the Japanese Prime Minister and Joe Biden, which was like really the first trilateral sort of cooperation because Japan and Korea have such a bad history.
Right.
He was finally starting to bridge that gap where we could start interacting and working with those two countries together, which really helped us in terms of preparing for things that might happen in Taiwan or North Korea or China. Now that's all really the ability to do so is going to be thrown potentially into the wood chipper if this opposition party takes power because they seemingly have no interest in a lot of United States affairs, but especially in Taiwan. Lee Jae-myung, the leader of this party, said, what interest of it is it to South Korea if China makes a move on Taiwan? Essentially, we don't care what happens.
Right.
Which is completely short-sighted and ridiculous.
And it could be catastrophic for the United States because of a reliance on the chipsets from Taiwan. So this is one of those things. It's a complicated situation, but to simplify it, this guy screwed up who was relatively friendly, to the United States, a conservative leader, kind of going to be replaced by a communist, effectively. I mean, replaced by a communist who hates the United States.
A communist criminal at that, because just 15 days ago, he was convicted by a Korean court and sentenced to 1 year in jail for election integrity issues.
What?
And he's also facing 3 other criminal cases right now.
The guy that they want to put in power?
Yes. So there's if this prison sentence is upheld by the higher court, by the Supreme Court, then he would be banned for 5 years from even running for office. This dude is a straight up criminal.
Yeah. Which we don't think of them that way because, we think like they're Korean, they're cute.
I mean, even the people that were against the martial law, I spoke to a bunch of guys and girls, both my age over there, and the girls are much more liberal than the males over there.
Of course.
But even both of them were like, what Yoon Suk Yeol did was ridiculous, but Lee Jae-myung is shit, basically.
Yeah.
There's no good option.
How does he get to power and have that much support then?
Demagoguery.
Yeah.
The same way Joe Biden.
It's always amazing to me that you could have anyone in South Korea who would have any position on communism other than reviling it. So that's always surprising to me.
The way they hide it over there, the way they hide their interest is essentially by focusing on the populist domestic issues because there's so many problems with housing and childbirth. To own a home in Korea, the average couple would have to save for 26 years right now.
What?
Yes. And that's a big reason why their birth rate is 0.78, which makes it the lowest in the entire world. So there's a lot of domestic issues that these sort of populist leaders can hamper on, feminism, whatever have you.
And so they're basically they have tunnel vision right now.
Right. North Korea really isn't a huge voting issue for most young South Koreans because they kind of put them so far out of mind.
Yeah. Right.
That it's not really
it takes one generation to start taking it for granted.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you said 0.78 is their birth rate?
Yeah.
When adjusted for height, that's like 0.46.
And they do the metric system.
Yes, that's what they do. So that just throws my
How
whole...
many stones is that?
I have no idea. That's the stupidest weight system ever. Like, how much do you weigh? About 14 stone. Really? Oh, but you were on The Biggest Loser. How much did you weigh out after that? About 13.5 stone. It doesn't have the same effect.
I don't understand.
It's 0.5 stone less. I just don't really care. And we're going to skip the next one, go back to it. But here's the thing. Lane the Brain knows this inside and out. But he did miss one key thing.
Did he?
Well, the media caught it. So I'm a little... I mean, we might have to admonish you. I don't know if you know this. According to the U.S. media, this is actually Donald Trump's fault.
Obviously, we around the table should talk about why this should be an important thing for Americans to pay attention to.
Well, that's what I want to
particularly given that Donald Trump is about to be president in a number of weeks, somebody who has said he wants to use the military to go after his own enemies.
The parallels to January 6th, just the image of a democracy facing this kind of crisis. I think this is something that people are scared about, or sort of Democrats are scared about when they think about Trump's return, because he has used, he has.
Make it up,
Michael to achieve political goals, and or try to achieve a political goal on January 6th, and where at least
for the love of Christ, let it go.
We talked about now pardoning some of these folks.
Yeah. This is the same guy you condemned for being the first American president to set foot on North Korean soil. By the way, after which he referred to Kim Jong-un as fat. So, like,
to his face.
He's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't, right? Hey, peace symbol. This is a president who wants peace. This is also a president who basically said it would be a nuclear holocaust for Hamas unless they released hostages. There's nothing this guy can do.
Yeah.
Anything that happens, they will blame on Trump.
Well, it's like Democrats are concerned. Well, maybe they're thinking about it. It goes back to like the thought police. So you're saying that basically some Democrats are maybe concerned about the fact that Donald Trump has said things that he never said before about military going after his enemies. He never said that, by the way. The only comment they tried to stretch into that was the military participating in the deportations.
Yeah.
And that was a stretch as it was, so he didn't say that. We're not concerned about him declaring martial law. By the way, if Donald Trump does something like this stupid and declares martial law for the United States, I would rise up against him because it would be something that would be illegal for him to do under the same circumstances and stupid. So it's like, what are you saying here about Donald Trump? No, there's no fear here. This guy did something very stupid. He has a different situation he's dealing with. And not everything that happens in the world for a dictator kind of to come to power is what Donald Trump envisions.
All right. Well, you know what? Go do some more. Is there anything else that we missed on Korea?
No. Well, the one thing I just have to get this off my chest is that CNN comment, the CNN clip when I saw it. First of all, they used the most liberal South Korean media source that they possibly could for their footage, so that's interesting. Mm-hmm. But second off, when it was that anchor, when it was MJ Lee that went into it, I know, I thought it broke my heart because
I know
I thought she was the one for me.
You did.
She's usually been pretty facts based. Here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. She
couldn't resist.
That's okay. No one's perfect.
My delusions of grandeur.
She needs a spanking.
The good news is, I'm sure that they can make a doll in her as a replica. So,
I don't like that.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, Lane, don't worry. We haven't bought the Christmas gifts for the staff.
We have not bought the office gifts yet.
I know what to get you.
So let's like to not complete that interest at all.
Lane, you can fix
Let's do a GoFundMe. Get one of those Korean dolls.
Yes, exactly.
About $8,500.
And let's Korean fire drill Lane the Brain out of here. Thank you very much for educating us. You got it?
Pandas can do it, so can I.
Hey, if you like this video, you can comment or hit the notification bell to know when there are more videos, but it's probably taken from today's full show, which you can watch here. It's live, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, where you can watch live. But I don't know when you're watching this, so it could be any of the day's show. Right now you're watching, it could be a Monday. Could be a Tuesday, Wednesday, could be Thursday. Well, it could be Friday.